as it will be the Pine Bush running attack versus the air show of George Colby and Minisink Valley on today's Cable 6 game of the week. The game of the week is brought to you by La Masquerade for fine dining, Route 17M, Goshen. First Care in Monroe. For immediate care, it's First Care. Short Line Bus, serving the Mid-Hudson area with a location near you. Maydee's Mattress Factory Outlet. Don't miss our fantastic anniversary sale. Joseph's Construction. Call the professionals. U.S. Army recruiting stations. Be all you can be in the Army. John McMickle, your experienced county legislator in the new 21st District. And by the Villa Roma Country Club. Discover the difference. From Minisink Valley High School, this is the Cable 6 game of the week. This afternoon, an interconference battle. The Bushmen of Pine Bush, 2-0, taking on the Warriors of Minisink Valley, coming in at 1-1. Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Sussman, and welcome once again to the Cable 6 game of the week. If I was a betting man, I would not have bet that this game would be played today under these conditions, but Mother Nature and the weatherman has cooperated, and Mike Terrell has joined me once again. And Mike, we wouldn't have thought that this game was going to be played under these conditions today.
No, I guess I should sing a few bars of Gloria for you this afternoon. But we do have great conditions, actually, for the game. The field's in great shape for both teams. Pine Bush basically has the running attack. We won't see them put the ball in the air too much. And, of course, on the other side, it's the Colby Air Show, and we know we'll see nothing but aerials going up. And the field is in great shape for both teams. No problem with footing. The grass is good and thick here for a running team, and you're able to cut if you're a passing team.
And as Mike said, the field in excellent condition. Pine Bush is a ground team. They have scored 8 touchdowns this year, 7 on the ground, 1 on a punt return. So the field is in excellent condition for their type of game.
It is, Gary, and they like to run off tackle, and they'll also sprint out and try and run around the outside. And they should have no problem getting blockers out in front. The linemen aren't going to be slipping or anything. The footing's good. So it should be very suitable to Pine Bush and their very heavy running game. And they have 3 good runners in the backfield.
Now, in 1984, Pine Bush came in second in the OCL behind Warwick. But I spoke to head coach Marsh Canosa earlier this week, and he told me that this is a different year and a different team.
Gary, we're very inexperienced, to be honest with you. We are playing kind of like, through our learning period right now, and we're not real pleased with our progress, but we're not real disappointed in our progress either. But we're just kind of trying to come along and try and find our way. Well, Cameron at fullback is obviously a strength. He's got a little different role this year than he had last year, Gary. We graduated a whole bunch of big people up front. We've got another bunch of good-sized kids, but they're all very inexperienced, and he has got to adjust to them as they have to adjust to him. And hopefully they can mesh together as the season rolls around. Yes, the kids do look to him for leadership on the field. We've got about 35 on our varsity and at least 55 on our JV at last count. And we've got a good 40 strong on our modified. And, with the help of Cable 6 and stuff, as far as the exposure that we've gotten, it's been a real good thing for us. Our scouts have come back and said that Colby is an excellent passer. And he's got good receivers who can catch the ball, who run very precise routes. I was impressed by what our scouts came back and told me about Colby and his receivers. Every game, Gary, is one at a time. Every game we feel right now is as important as any other game.
Pine Bush is the infantry in this ball game, and George Colby and Minisink Valley are the airborne, and I know that you have a great deal of respect for George Colby.
Gary, I think he's a tremendous high school football player in a lot of aspects of the game. I think he can set up a defense well and call his play to the defense that he sees in front of him. He's not afraid to audible. He has a tremendously strong arm. He rolls out well. He throws well on the run, and he sets up very quickly with a good release. So he's got nothing but pluses across the board.
And as we heard, Marsh Canosa also has a lot of respect for George Colby, and well, he should, because in 1985, George Colby may be the premier gun in the OCL. George Colby is a 6'2", 190-pound senior who is filling the air with footballs in Minisink Valley this season. In Minisink's opening game loss to Monroe, Colby threw for 315 yards and 2 touchdowns, completing 16 of 30 passes. Last week against Washingtonville, another spectacular day. 16 for 27, 322 yards and 3 touchdowns, including 2 73-yard scoring strikes to Chris Ryan, who has become Colby's #1 target following a season-ending shoulder injury to Joe Sotolano. Last week, Ryan caught 7 passes for 245 yards and 2 TDs. Colby is strong, he's accurate, and he uses his receivers well. If he's on target, Minisink can stay in any ball game. The Warriors have demonstrated the ability to throw short, long, and from anywhere on the field. The prospect for Pine Bush may not be to stop Colby, but to contain him, because it doesn't appear that stopping George Colby will be a successful venture this year in the OCL. One team on the ground, one team through the air, 2 diverse attacks. What do you see as the keys?
Keys are the front 4 defensively for Minisink Valley. If they can stop the run before it gets 5 yards downfield. For Pine Bush, again, I think it's defense. It's the secondary and how well they're going to cover in a lot of man-to-man situations this afternoon.
Okay, so the stage is set. The running attack of Pine Bush, the air show of Minisink Valley. When we come back the first quarter, you're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. Hey, school, Gary Sussman along with Mike Terrell for our Cable 6 game of the week. Minisink Valley in the home green with white trim, Pine Bush in the away white with gold trim, looking a bit like Notre Dame. Let's set the officials for you. Clarence Comfort from Matamoros is the referee. Ron Francisco is the umpire. He's from Liberty. Bill McCarroll is the linesman. He's from Glen Spey. Gary Carter took a ride up from Shea. He's the field judge, and sometimes he resides in Warwick. A beautiful day for football. The wind swirling a bit may or may not be a factor, Mike, depending on if it picks up in intensity. Right now, it doesn't seem to be that much of a factor as we get ready to kick it off and begin our third Cable 6 game of the week. A short kick corralled by Schofield across the 30, the 35, and brought down at the 37-yard line, where Minisink Valley will take it over 1st and 10 from that spot. The starting lineup for Minisink: George Colby, number 7, will be the quarterback. Jim Ognabini, number 44, and Johnny Etkin will be in the backfield. Reach and Schofield will split at the split end, and replacing Joe Sotolano at flanker will be Chris Ryan. McNeil, Vandervoort, Fedrizi, Melvin, Ogden, and Getz will be the front line. Getz handling the tight end position, and look for him on those short pass patterns because Colby can use him effectively, and we will set the Pine Bush defense as time permits. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Colby.
Colby back to pass, passing into
Looking for Ognabini off Ognabini's knee, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Minisink Valley. Setting the defensive lineup for Pine Bush, and they will use a 5-2. Smith and Anderson will be the defensive ends. Holland and Westbrook will be the tackles. Torchio, Dave, will be the nose guard. Rowe and Quimby the linebackers, and they'll be very key. And in the defensive backfield, Watkins, McKenzie, Murphy, and Ed Rampy. 1 play, 1 pass, 2nd and 10. Schofield split wide to the left. And a whistle.
That's possibly due to Colby at the line. I think he likes to call a lot of audibles down there, Gary. He likes to change his passing patterns once he sees how that 5-2 is going to establish itself. See if he can make some movement to see if he's going to get a blitz and maybe change his pattern. I think he saw that time and read the blitz, and by audibling just pulled it in a little bit sooner.
Rich Cameron at one linebacker position along with Doug Rowe. Bob Quimby not in the ballgame at this time. Cameron will wear number 41, and he will be called many times on the offensive end. 2nd down and 5.
Colby back to pass.
Colby looking right, intended for Getz. Had a step, but the pass was overthrown. That'll set up a 3rd down and 5.
He led him like he was a sprint out end instead of a tight end. Colby not usually one to overthrow by that much, but that time he got a little anxious and led his man just a bit too much going down the right sideline.
And had some running room for his own being that time, Mike, but elected to step up and throw it to Getz. 3rd down and 5, the first 3rd down situation of the ball game. Schofield is split wide to the right.
Down the right sideline is Ryan. He can't hang on to it.
Incomplete.
And I'll tell you, Colby took a hit in the backfield from Rich Cameron just as he let that ball go. And almost a spectacular catch by Ryan. If he holds on, Mike, he's down the sideline for a touchdown.
Boy, he made a heck of an attempt, didn't he, Gary? It looked like the ball was going to be well overthrown, and Ryan got a hand up and tried to do the juggling act and pull it in, and just a good attempt on his part to make that a completion.
Back deep for Pine Bush is Ed Rampy, number 7. And Todd Mosher, number 26. Egg Pagalucci standing at his 26-yard line to handle the punting chores for Minisink. Low snap from center. Pagalucci with a nice scoop and a good kick. The Bushmen will let it roll, and they will take it 1st and 10 all the way down at the 20-yard line.
25-yard line where the Bushmen will take over first.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Pine Bush. And let's set the Pine Bush offensive lineup for you. George Coates will be the quarterback. He's a 5'9", 151-pound junior, number 11. Cameron, the fullback. Watkins, the tailback, and Murphy, the slot back. Murphy will wear number 31, and Watkins will wear number 34. Rampy and Shannon will alternate at the split end. Anderson, Malloy, Smith, Rafferty, Rowe, and a substitution for Owen McCain in at right tackle. We'll have to list that for you once we can establish who has replaced McCain in the starting offensive line.
The handoff is to Cameron, right side.
First man through is Cameron. There's a fumble on the play, and Minisink has recovered. So on the first series of downs, Minisink recovers the fumble, picking up the loose ball, number 62, Joe Murtaugh, for the Warriors. First break of the ball game going to Minisink Valley, and they will pick up the ball 1st and 10 deep in Pine Bush territory. Spotted at the 20-yard line.
25. George Colby quarterbacking.
Nothing odd about this play, Gary. It's just a straight drive off tackle, and Cameron just never really apparently had a good grip on it when he went through.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Minisink Valley. Colby, we'll see if he can capitalize on the first turnover of the ball game.
Colby back to pass.
Swing pass to Agnabini.
Agnabini, right side.
And Agnabini forced out of bounds
is driven out of bounds
by Bill McKenzie, number 46.
McKenzie.
Got maybe 3 on the play. That'll set up a 2nd down and 7.
On this one here, we'll see Agnabini's just a little swing out of the backfield. There you see him went very nicely, turns it up, picks up maybe 6 yards on the play, and we got a, not even 6, it looks like, only about 3 or 4 yards actually on the play. So we got a 2nd down, and let's call the long 6.
And that drive starting on the 20-yard line. 2nd down and 7. So far, Colby has gone exclusively to the air in this contest. Has not put it on the ground yet. And there he does the first time, Agnabini. And a nice tackle that time by Doug Rowe. 5'9", 175-pound senior, number 55. We saw a lot of him last year. He's a very active linebacker. And when you play the 5-2, Mike, I think those linebackers become even more important because they need to be so active to plug up those holes once a player may get past that initial line of scrimmage.
Most definitely. And so far, Colby has only thrown to the outside. Let's see if he tries to pull him in.
Ball at the 19-yard line.
3rd and 4, Colby. Had Ryan open. Now looks for him.
Incomplete.
Ryan was open the first time he made the cut, Mike, and Colby just didn't see him. And by the time Colby did get him the ball, the pass was a little thrown wide.
Colby not showing the form that he did in the first game we saw him so far today, Gary. He seems to be very hesitant about his plays. He seems to be overlooking his receivers. He sees them open, and he turns to look for a 2nd or a 3rd person out there.
4th down and call it 5. The wide side of the field is the left side of the field, and Schofield is split wide on that left side.
Colby back to pass.
Colby intended for Ryan, and Pine Bush has effectively stopped Minisink Valley after Minisink Valley had recovered a Pine Bush fumble at the 20-yard line.
Good pressure put on by number 67, Kevin Howard. And Pine Bush, that's what they're going to need. They're going to need the strong rush from their front 5 there. Here you see Howard, he rushes him a little bit, although the man was wide open and the ball was thrown fairly well.
A little difficult to see the yard marker. We're estimating the 20-yard line. Coates. Scrambling to his left, has some running room, is Coates. And finally knocked out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the play. 2nd down and 2. Good scrambling that time by George Coates.
Excellent running on the part of Coates, Gary. He saw that he had nowhere to get the ball, although he had good pressure right from the outset, right from the snap of the ball. Watch Coates here. You'll see he wanted to go to the right side, but was shut off there. Rolls back around to the left and nothing to do but run with it, and now he tucks it under finally.
Eric Grunwald was in pursuit of George Coates in that front line of Newhouse, Paglucci, Grunwald, Murtaugh, and Redmond from Minisink Valley. The linebackers, Lauster and Pauls, Levinson, Reitzel, Livacore, and Roberto in the defensive backfield. 2nd down and 1, gain of 9 on the play for Coates. Watkins. And Watkins with some speed. Watkins over the 45, down to the 47-yard line. 1st down, Pine Bush. The tackle made by number 37, Chris Roberto from Minisink Valley, and they blasted over that right side. Good speed that time by Tony Watkins.
Good blocking at the point of attack here, Gary. Watch this up front. Here comes Watkins. It's going to the right side off tackle. Once he gets through, some very poor tackling, though, on the part of Minisink Valley. A lot of arm tackling going on.
18-yard pickup that time by Watkins. And let me point out that all 3 men in the backfield for Pine Bush have rushed for over 100 yards at one point in this season. Once again, it's Watkins. The flag is on the play. And we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is for. Number 40 in on the tackle for Minisink Valley. Dan Witkowski for the Warriors.
We get a clipping penalty on Pine Bush. And we saw Tony Watkins last year as a sophomore, and he was their quick scat man. He didn't get to touch the ball a lot because I think that day Cameron handled the ball about 23 or 24 times for Pine Bush. But he's the quick outside man. When he gets the ball, I would think that Minisink Valley should watch their outsides and try and let the middle go a little lighter. Cameron, he can run basically up the middle. He'll be running off center in the what they call a 0 dive or a 1 or 3 dive on either side of the line.
Richard Basehart, voyage beneath the sea. Zero dive.
0 dive. That means he's going to run on the right side between the center and the guard.
Spot the ball on the 31-yard line. A major 15-yard penalty assessed against Pine Bush. 9:05 to go, period number 1, no score. Coates on the keeper. Eludes one tackler and then gets over the 40-yard line down to the 41. Once again, bit of apology for the hesitancy on the line call. A little hard to see those line markers, Mike.
Well, that was not supposed to be a keeper. Cameron fell down as Coates went to give him the handoff. There you see it. And good shot, guys. Way to pick it up. And he did the right thing. Good play on the part of George Coates.
Ed Rampy is split wide to the left. 2nd down and 20. Watkins again. Trying to use that speed as Watkins, and Watkins is down that far sideline. I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And just catching Tony Watkins by a length at the 6.
Yes, sir. Number 40, if we can get a name on him. It looks like it's Dan Witkowski is the name off the program. He just caught him with a last-ditch effort. Look at Watkins. Good speed when he gets to the outside. I missed to make the call there. And Witkowski just got the back foot. Just caught him on the instep and tripped him up.
1st and goal. Call it from the 6. Tony Watkins motoring down that far sideline. Cameron bursting over tackle. Touchdown, Rich Cameron. So the speed to the outside of Watkins and the power up the middle of Rich Cameron, and Pine Bush is on the board early here in period number 1.
Gary, what is the left defensive side of the Minisink Valley defense up front has been taken advantage of 3 or 4 times now with Watkins. When they've run coming to the right side of the defense, they've had a little more difficulty.
The extra point.
And the extra point attempt by Pine Bush.
With 7:56 remaining in the first period.
Joe Bergen is through the uprights and good in the score with 7:56 to go, period number 1. Pine Bush on top, 7-0. We'll be back after these messages You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. Highlighted by a 53-yard run by Tony Watkins, just caught inside the 10-yard line by Witkowski, but Rich Cameron banging it in from just over the 5-yard line, and the extra point is good, and Pine Bush leads by the count of 7-0. A short kick, a Mike Terrell type kick, and Minisink returns it over the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Well, they'll take it over 1st and 10. Johnny Etkin taking that extremely short kick by Pine Bush, and Minisink now in excellent field position. Mike, the pattern that we talked about has been established. Pine Bush going right to the ground, and Minisink Valley going right to the air. So far, the Bushmen have been more successful early on here in period number 1. 1st and 10. 38-yard line. Colby once again dropping back. Right side.
Incomplete, overthrown.
Intended for Chris Reach and overthrown.
Gary, the pressure put on by Pine Bush is very important. We said at the beginning of the ball game that it would be defensive secondary for Pine Bush. So far, they seem to be holding up well, and they're not actually dropping into a man-to-man. They're playing more of a zone type of defense out there. The other thing I think that's going to come back possibly to haunt Minisink Valley is that they did not take advantage of that fumble recovery deep in Pine Bush territory.
2nd down and 10. Colby is 1 of 6 so far here in period number 1.
Colby, back to pass, being rushed.
And let's credit that to the defensive pressure of that front 5, because they were all in there, led by Bob Anderson, number 89, 5'10", 186-pound senior. Mike, you're talking about the defensive secondary. Their job is made a lot easier by that defensive pressure of the front 4.
No doubt about it, and they love to see it too, Gary. That takes a lot of pressure off of them if Colby has no time to throw. We talked about his quick release. No matter how quick your release is, you have to have people open and able to have time to complete the pass.
3rd and 10. Ryan split wide to the right. That's the short side of the field. Screen pass. Etkin.
John Etkin on the screen pass.
Etkin has some running room and is brought down at midfield. He'll be 3 yards short of the 1st down. Pine Bush covered that well.
Good call, though, on the part of Minisink Valley. That's the way to relieve some of the pressure on that heavy rush, is to come with that little screen pass. You let them in. It's a count. You hit and release, and then the only problem was there's only one blocker in front of them, and there's supposed to be 4 or 5. The other guys got taken too far back.
And we see good pursuit that time by Pine Bush. So unofficially, we have George Colby 2 for 8 for 11 yards here in period number 1. Ed Paglucci at his 35-yard line. Rampy and Watson are deep in a nice kick by Paglucci. Angle it out of bounds. There will be no run back, and Pine Bush will take it over 1st and 10 with 6:33 to go in period number 1. As we take a look at the Minisink Valley cheerleaders. This is an interconference battle. Conference play doesn't start for a couple weeks. And when it does, those are the games that will determine who will go to that league championship game at Middletown High School, 3rd Saturday in November. Good crowd on hand here at Minisink Valley. And as we have pointed out, it is a beautiful Saturday as Gloria has taken a hike and has gone out to sea.
She is no more.
At the 25-yard line, Coates on the pitch out to Watkins, and he's got some room if he can find the ball. And Minisink has recovered.
Well, that was a good pitch by Coates. At least it looked good, about shoulder high. And recovering is John Reitzel. Reitzel getting in from his strong safety position to pick it up. And there you see the pitch. It was a good pitch. He was trying to run without the ball. I've heard guys say that before.
Just never could get that elusive handle.
I love it when they come off after they recover a fumble or something. You know, they come off like, I tore him up.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Colby with his second golden opportunity in the first quarter. Agnabini, Rich Cameron knifing in from his linebacker spot to make the tackle on Jim Agnabini.
Impressed with the defense of Pine Bush so far? They're looking awfully strong up front. Good, strong rush. They play a 5-2, but you see a lot of 7-men fronts there coming, and this time they just shut Agnabini down before he even got a chance to look up to see where his hole was. There you see it, Cameron just blasting through and catching him in the backfield. Loss of almost 2 yards.
And, Mike, they did not have any man blocking Rich Cameron. He found an open slot and just went in unimpeded. Second down and 12. Colby over the middle. Gets. Oh, did he take a hit? Cameron once again leveled him with help from his friends. Oh, boy. Flag on the play. That was a monstrous hit by Rich Cameron. And we'll see once again George Colby as he looks left. Agnabini was in that flat, and then he gets over the middle, and boom.
Ooh. Cameron coming across just leveled the tight end with a shoulder.
And they're talking to Ed Rampy, so it looks like it's going to be against Minisink Valley. And we'll wait for the call for...
I wouldn't be surprised if it's
Comfort.
a holding. I mean, they have to be frustrated, the offensive line of Minisink Valley. They haven't had this many problems with anybody yet.
5:25 to go. Well, as we pointed out in the opening, Mike, through the first 2 games, Colby has thrown for 322 yards against Washingtonville and 315 yards against Monroe. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns, 16 for 30 in the first game, 16 for 27 in the second game. So he has been able to find his receivers. His receivers have been able to gain good yardage. But so far, Pine Bush has been equal to the test. From the 42-yard line, Minisink Valley. Fumble on the play and recovered by Anderson. But let's give credit to Dave Torchio, the middle guard. He's the one who set it up with a vicious tackle of Colby in the backfield.
We're going to get another shot at this one, and they're calling it up for us. Now, watch this. What they run is a stunt. Number 40 comes blasting in. He had fallen back off the line. He's another linebacker, sometimes safety man, nose guard. He's playing all over, but he wasn't down in his down normal position. He had come back off the line and just blew in next to the center and the left guard. And with that help, he helped create the fumble. We got a timeout in Minisink Valley, I believe.
Timeout, Pine Bush, the first of the ball game, so we're going to take a break. 5 minutes to go, period number 1. Pine Bush on top of Minisink by the count of 7-0. We'll be back after these messages. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. The Minisink Valley huddle. And Pine Bush so far has been a little quicker off the ball, Mike.
They definitely have been, both on offense and defense, Gary. They're catching the offensive line of Minisink Valley on their heels when they're coming back to pass block. I don't think that Minisink Valley's firing out, hitting, and then backing up the pass block. I think they're coming up out of their stance, and they're kind of trying just to hold their ground. And with that, all the momentum is going to the Pine Bush defenders who are rushing.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. 3rd fumble of the ball game. In fact, the 4th fumble of the ball game. Make it the 3rd. A little confused. Cameron. And he's upended in the defensive, rather the offensive backfield. Knifing in number 58, Scott Pauls from his linebacker spot. 5'8", 155-pounder. Got a good shot at Cameron, and Cameron went airborne, got a yard. We've seen Cameron up the middle. We've seen Watkins to the outside. We haven't seen Doug Murphy yet in action. He's the wingback on that right side. As you see Watkins in motion. Cameron, once again, hit at the line of scrimmage, fell forward for about 2. Set up a 3rd down for Pine Bush. A obvious passing situation to some, but maybe not for the Bushmen.
Well, Pine Bush against Minisink Valley so far has not had a lot of success with Cameron running up the middle. Minisink is really stuffing up the middle part and playing the wings a little lightly. So let's not see if we see Watkins or Murphy to the outside.
3rd down. Reverse. Murphy. Paglucci on the tackle. Nice defense.
Well, he ran right into him, so and he did the smart thing. He says, "You have ball, me tackle you." Good play by Paglucci. And I'm surprised that we tried something with this much to get the play going. There you see it. Pagliucci coming in, wraps him up, throws him down.
Big Ed, number 75, who was our defensive player of the game the last time that we were here.
Kind of surprising that we had that kind of call on the third down play.
4th and call it 6. 38-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Coates, first pass of the ball game, and he's hit, and it's intercepted. The hit was made by Eric Grunwald. The interception was made by Darrell Lobster. Good teamwork that time. One made the hit, the other made the interception. Let's take a look as Coates goes back, straight back. Grunwald from his nose tackle position, and even you and I maybe could have caught that ball.
Yeah, I think so. I'll tell you what, I bet you he was sorry he had to go to his knees to catch it, though, because he had a little open field. Not a lot, but 10 or 12 yards to try and do something with the football.
Back and forth we go. Turnover play, first quarter. 3 fumbles, 1 pass interception. From the 32, Colby yet to get on track. Pass intended on that left side for Chris Reach, and it just was thrown a little short. Once again, the pressure in the offensive backfield, and Colby unofficially 2 for 10 right now, Mike, and maybe getting a little bit frustrated, and he seems to be in a little bit of pain back there.
Gary, he just took a shot from the backside that I'm really surprised we didn't see a flag on the official probably just never saw the shot. He really got leveled, and I didn't pick up the number of the player who did it to him, but he really took a belt well after he released the ball.
And Pete Oxner is talking to the officials right now, saying that George Colby did get hit on the side of the head, and you're not supposed to hit the man above the shoulder pads, Mr. T.
He got blasted. He took a helmet up around the neck area on the side, on one side of his body, and he just really got leveled. I happened to look back after he had thrown. A lot of pressure, though, by Pine Bush is what's creating a lot of his, we're going to get a shot of this, so maybe we'll get a look at it. See if we stay with it long enough. No, we didn't. Okay.
But the man from the left side who was coming in, Henry Smith, put enough pressure on that Colby did not have a clear sight line to his intended receiver. And it's very hard to pick out those receivers when you're running for your life in the offensive backfield, and that has been the problem so far for Colby. And on the other side, Pine Bush had that one drive, but we've had a lot of turnovers in this first quarter, Mike.
Well, Marsh and his defensive coaching people on the Pine Bush side have to be very pleased with the way they're handling things so far. They're playing a zone. On occasion, they go man-to-man, but basically a zone, and it's a heavy zone to the wide side of the field against the arm of Colby, and they're having great success because of the pressure out there that the zone looks like it's working even better than it may be.
Everybody's a comedian. Colby, once again. Ognabini, no handle. Third down.
If I was Ognabini, I'd be glad there was no handle because he was about ready to get leveled. Number 40 was just putting the nose right to him. That was, I can't read it from here. Dave Torchio? Torchio. I'll have one. Leave off the cheese, please.
The gentleman who created the fumble the last time Minisink had the ball.
Well, he would have created a fumble. It may have been Ognabini's head, though, at the rate he was piling in on him.
3rd and 10, 33-yard line. Chris Ryan, Colby's favorite receiver, as Colby's in the shotgun, and Ryan seems to start a little too soon. Over the middle, and the pass was intended for Reach, thrown a little bit behind him, incomplete.
Again, pressure on Colby is a story. This is developing into a story that I don't think many people thought to see today. I thought they figured we'd be going back and forth, one team throwing, one team running. And so far, we've seen a lot of fumbles and a lot of pressure.
3 for 12, George Colby. So he's lighting up the sky with footballs, even though it is very sunny, but so far he's in almost a total eclipse, Mr. T. Pagliucci, a short kick, and that'll give Pine Bush good field position as Rampy takes it off the ground and is knocked out of bounds very close to midfield. Call it the 47-yard line. Pine Bush now takes over 1st and 10 from that spot on the field. 2:33 to go in period number 1. Pine Bush came into this ball game at 2-0. Their last win, a 25-0 win over O'Neill. They had beaten Cornwall in their first ball game of the year. Minisink Valley lost to Monroe in game number 1, and last week came back to beat Washingtonville in an air battle. Paul Winter, the quarterback for Washingtonville, and he and Colby went arm to arm. Cameron, nice move, Cameron. Oh, boy. And Cameron loves that contact, and he is a bull.
A bull. He thinks he's a helicopter. He keeps trying to leap up and come down, and boy, he's a good runner, though, Gary. Look at him. Did you see the cut there? Nice cut. Good instinctive running by the Cameron, and picks up about 8 yards on the play.
Chris Roberto was the man who submarined Rich Cameron, or Cameron tried to hurdle over him. Second down and 2. Once again, Cameron, he's got the first down and more. And if he keeps doing that, he may get hurt. He's leaving his legs very exposed, Mike, when he goes into the air like that. But he does get over the 35 to the 33-yard line. And we have a Minisink ball player down on the field. Rich Cameron, last year's OCL scoring champ. 17 touchdowns, as you see the graphic right there.
I'll tell you, Pete Oxner's looking for a little reason, like, isn't that illegal to leave the ground the way he's doing? He seems to do it on a consistent basis. I don't know in high school football if that is, if there's something in the rules where he can't propel himself like that through the air.
Mike, it's a very fine line, because you can claim that he was hit and then went, as opposed to just hurtling over a man. And we can see it on our replay. Maybe we'll get a better idea of what Cameron is doing. Well, that time he tried to leap over.
He's hurdling, is what he's doing. And I don't know if there is a ruling that can be called on that.
Mike, that fine line is no longer fine. It seems to us to be very clear what Rich Cameron is doing. As once again, the invasion of the Wasps has taken over here at Minisink Valley.
Unbelievable.
A minute 50 to go, period number 1. Pine Bush leads by 7. They're on the move. Once again, trying to capitalize on a short Minisink Valley punt. Tony Watkins taken down in the backfield. Darrell Lauster with a big play.
What a play by Lauster. He comes shooting in from his defensive linebacking position and saw the gap, saw the handoff, read the play very well and early, and got in there to take down Watkins. Gary, you'll get a look at it again here. Here you see, and he just read it early, that's all. It was just a good read.
And what's impressive about that, Mike, is you have to get a man like Watkins down low. You get him high, he's going to break away, and he's got all that speed. Once again, it's Watkins. He's got some running room. Getting back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll set up a third down for Pine Bush. Paglucci chasing Watkins.
Long first quarter, eh?
Yeah, along with Matt Ross, number 77, from his tackle position. Third down, 10. Back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 31-yard line. Make it the 29-yard line. Reverse. Murphy. Jimmy Redmond on the tackle. They're reading that reverse very well, Mike.
Very well, and I'm surprised we've seen it on 2 third-down situations. So I'm not surprised that Minisink Valley wasn't surprised by it. I'm surprised that we get the call twice in a third down and long.
And that may be our last play of the first period as time is winding down. And that is the first quarter. An action-filled, error-plagued first period. And the score at the end of the first 12 minutes, Pine Bush on a 5-yard run by Rich Cameron, on top by the count of 7-0. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. For Pine Bush as we begin period number 2. And a little motion on the left side. Bobby Anderson from his left end position. And that'll set it back 5 more, setting up for 4th and 11.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Let's see how this changes the strategy here. Obviously, I just don't like those things.
Now, the Wasps can be very, very disconcerting.
Oh, we're going to get a punt now by Cameron. He's set back deep.
Dave Torchio, Mike. Good high kick, Torchio. And the Bushman down it inside the 5-yard line. Oh, my.
What an excellent kick and great coverage down there. I believe number
At about the 2-yard line.
73, I believe, was the number that was down.
Tom Malloy, if he in fact was the man who
Excellent
made
coverage.
that play.
And a tremendous kick under some pressure.
Well, spotted about a 37-yard punt, Mike, but realistically, that is just one heck of a kick.
You aren't kidding. Torchio got it off real well.
You're right, it did change the strategy. Minisink Valley now is in tough straits.
You aren't kidding. A little bit different if you got the ball on the 37 or 38-yard line as compared to on about the 3-yard line, I would say, is approximately where it is.
A 40-yard punt. Charlie Guido on stats this afternoon, Mike, and we love to have
And no
Charlie.
pizza.
We love to have Charlie in the booth.
Charlie comes, no pizza. These
leave
guys
Charlie
are licking
alone.
their lips down in the truck all morning.
Okay, so Minisink Valley, Mike, is in tough field position as they're nestled inside their 5-yard line at the 2 as we get a long shot of George Colby. And Colby goes right up the middle, gets over the 5 to about the 6, trying to give himself a little breathing room.
It's about his most successful offensive play so far. Funny as it may seem, but picked up about 3-4 yards on that play.
Well, in fairness to Colby, he has been pressured a great deal of the time this afternoon, but yet there have been other times where he has had some openings to find his receivers and has just been a little off the mark. We also have another guest in the booth. Ben Terrell is here with us this afternoon. Hello, Ben. 2nd down and 4. Make it 2nd and 6. Agnabini.
What a shame. He tried to cut and his looked like his knee just gave way when he went to make the quick cut because he had some open room. He saw it and he tried to get to it, but didn't quite make it. He picks up about 4 yards on it. I'd say we have a 3rd and 2 situation
And
coming
Mike,
up.
this is a big play for Minisink Valley. They haven't been able to get any type of offensive momentum going. They do not have a 1st down in this ball game, and they have a 3rd and 2 right here, and we'll see what Pete Oxner has called from the sidelines. First man through is Agnabini, and he appears to have the 1st down.
I think he got real close if he doesn't have it.
We'll have to wait for the spot. Ed Rampy, number 7, in on the tackle, along with Bill McKenzie, number 46, and that is the first down of the ball game, right, Charlie, for Minisink Valley? And this is a straight up the middle Jim Agnabini, who is not that big a gentleman, but you see it right there, had the hole, and then Bob Anderson, number 89, closed the hole for Pine Bush, but not before Agnabini got the 1st down. Shotgun formation, Colby looking for Getz. Flag on the play.
This may take it back towards Minisink Valley again.
Mike, if we do any more games from Minisink Valley, I think before the game, we'll get here about 10 o'clock, bring our own line.
Oh, yeah, and we'll mark the field. And the field's in great shape, don't get me wrong, but for what they put out there, they shouldn't have wasted the effort.
Very, very difficult to see the yard markers from where we are. We will estimate that the line of scrimmage is the 18-yard line.
You know, Gary, in fairness, though, maybe because of the wet weather, a lot of it is soaked in. It just wasn't dry enough yet when they put the lime on to stay up there.
That's why I said we'll bring our own line so that we know what's going on before the ball game.
They ought to get the guys from West Point to come over.
The 5-yard penalty. Down will remain the same. 1st and 15.
It's a motion penalty against Minisink Valley. That'll push it back 5. And that'll push it back to the 9-yard line. So the original line of scrimmage is the 14. Once again, Colby in the shotgun formation. Right side. And the pass is in and out of the hands of Chris Ryan.
Pass incomplete.
Much different than the first time we saw this Minisink Valley ball team, Mike.
Much different, Gary. Sotolano was holding on to those kinds of throws all day the first time we were here. And Ryan, although he caught 7 last week, it just doesn't look like the timing is really there between he and Colby.
At least not on that pass play. The pass was there.
Definitely. That was thrown well.
2nd down and 15. Once again, Colby from his end zone over the middle. Intercepted by Pine Bush.
By Shannon.
Matt Shannon playing
Here you see
like
Colby.
a center fielder.
He's looking for Ryan cutting across the middle. Actually, he's looking for the tight end there cutting across the middle. And Matt Shannon just went up and took it down. A lot of white shirts in between Colby and his intended receiver.
1st and 10 from the 12. Golden opportunity for Pine Bush. Cameron, right side, Rich Cameron, touchdown. So Rich Cameron has his 2nd touchdown of the ball game, powering over the Minisink Valley defense, and he is on his way to getting.
What is he
that
listed
OCL
at?
Scoring.
Is he listed as a Lionel locomotive or something? I mean, just look at these people. Huh? What size do they have him listed at? I know it's a lie no matter what they have him down at.
220.
220. I want to tell you, he's built like a house.
And the kick is up and good for Pine Bush. 14-0, 2nd period. Joe Bergen with his 2nd extra point. We're going to take a break right here as the Bushmen of Pine have a 2-touchdown lead on Minisink Valley. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. Which we're going to put down as Charlie Guido. 9-yard touchdown run for Rich Cameron to go with his 5-yard touchdown run. The 2 extra points by Joe Bergen. And Pine Bush now on top by the count of 14-0 and looking impressive in doing it. Etkin. A swarm of Pine Bush defenders as Etkin gets over the 35-yard line.
But that was a good run back by Etkin. He picked up about 16, 17 yards maybe after he had received the kickoff. And he just ran straight ahead with as little blocking as he got and carried it through.
Okay, 1st and 10, Pine Bush from the 37-yard line. There is one thing about Minisink Valley, though, Mike, as it's Minisink Valley's ball, not Pine Bush's ball, is that if Colby can get on track and they can get that passing game on track, they can score from any point on the field. So they are by no means out of this ball game, especially when you have a passing game and a passing attack as your main staple. Reach. And that is Colby's 3rd pass completion of the ball game over the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, Gary, he does. They can strike quickly from any point on the field. We saw him score twice in about 3 minutes against Monroe Woodbury last time we were here. But the tackling on the part of Pine Bush has been very steady today. Very good tackling.
6-yard pass completion by Colby. We have a whistle.
Time, maybe?
Mike, reflecting back on that previous pass attempt, I thought that was a good play selection by Pete Oxner. They've been having problems when they've been trying to get 3 or 4 seconds to set up. They went with a quick hit out in the flat. Colby to get his rhythm to his receivers. Maybe one will get him on track, and we'll see what develops from here. But that was a motion penalty against Minisink Valley, and that pushes them back 5. That'll set up a 2nd down and 9.
You're right. They have to throw some of those shorts just to get them back on track. I'm surprised we haven't seen a little screen pass to the outside or even another one of those screen passes to the back right in the middle. A little delay move on the part of the offensive line. Just push them and let them go. But that was a good play selection there.
Well, Mike, Pine Bush has been down in the trenches. The Pine Bush front 4 have been beating the offensive line of Minisink Valley, so you got to go short. Colby looking long. And that could be an offensive pass interference on Chris Ryan. Happened right in front of us.
I believe that's the call you're going to see.
Ed Rampy had position on Ryan. Ryan pushed Rampy from behind. And it looks like the call is going to go against Minisink Valley, and not too many things have been going for Minisink Valley this afternoon. Colby with the pump fake, not a well-thrown pass. And we couldn't see it. It was out of our camera range. But right before they got to that dive situation, the push.
But he had time that time, Colby, which is something he hasn't had recently. So the Minisink offensive line showing up a bit. Colby looks like he's possibly guarding a sore right knee or something down there, Gary. He looks a little gimpy.
Referee Clarence Comfort is catching the wrath of the crowd as he signaled pass interference defense first down Minisink Valley. And the crowd cannot understand why the ball has been pushed all the way back now to the 23-yard line.
Clarence may be looking for his brother Southern after this game.
Mike.
Sorry.
Just a little joke by Mike Terrell. A play on words, nothing meant by that comment.
Of course not.
No wagering on this ball game. They have to get all the way to the 47-yard line. Oh, boy. Colby over the middle. Intended for Schofield, in and out of his hands.
Now we have fourth down coming up.
And it's now a fourth down situation for Minisink Valley. Well, if you don't succeed, try again.
I'll tell you, you know, I wouldn't be surprised right here, Gary, to see Pine Bush try and block a punt. The last time they got very close to blocking one, and they just missed blocking the punt on them. And let's see this time what they set up. Only one man back, 10 men on the line of scrimmage.
Mike Terrell, with foresight, hindsight, and prognostication. The rush is on. Paglucci gets it away, and a good kick. Rampy calling for a fair catch, and lets it go.
Smart play by Rampy.
Finally down to the 32-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Pine Bush from that spot. But Mr. T called that they had 10 men on the line of scrimmage.
They were going after it, I'll tell you that. And Ed got off a good kick, about a 36 or 7-yard kick, I believe, from point of the snap to where it is downed. And it'll be 1st and 10 Pine Bush. Going the other way, 7:34 left in the second quarter, and it's 14-0, the Bushmen.
And you know that Pine Bush is going to go groundward, and they're going to try to grind it out on the ground. We haven't seen too much of Doug Murphy this afternoon, but he is a weapon that could be used. And there he is, Doug Murphy. Murphy's still on his feet. Murphy brought down inside the 40-yard line of Minisink Valley at the 42, and Murphy off tackle.
He's a little quick, ain't he? He is just a little quick. He broke the point of attack, Gary, and he kind of put it into the other gear. 26 yards on the play for Murphy. As Sus says, we haven't seen him, and he streaks past our cameras.
1st and 10 from the 42. Oh, is it nice to be right once in a while? Cameron using that strength. Oh, my.
Excuse me while I hurt a little bit. Cameron absolutely leveled. See if we can get, I have the number. Chris
Roberto.
I can't read your writing.
Well, not too many
You
people
look like
can.
you could be a doctor.
Yeah. Gain of 7. Once again, Cameron. Jim Redmond got him down low, and you got to get Cameron low because you ain't going to be able to take him on up high.
I'll tell you, he is strong, isn't he? 6 foot 220. I'll tell you what, we got a scale right behind us in the booth here today. I'd like to bring him up at halftime. If he tips it at less than 240, I'll buy him dinner, and that could be an expensive thing to do.
3rd down and 3, Mike, from the 35-yard line. 6:08 and counting. Period number 2. Pine Bush on top, 14-0. In motion is Murphy. Cameron again, left side. Cameron. There used to be a ball player, for those who may not remember, by the name of Larry Zonka.
Yeah.
Larry Zonka played for the Miami Dolphins, went to the USFL, the
World Football League.
World Football League for a year, then came back to the Giants. Rich Cameron runs like Larry Zonka.
You're talking powerful. What a good tackle by Levinson. That's the second one in this series he's made.
1st and 10, Pine Bush. We are in the twilight zone as to what yard it is on. Quarterback sacked that time by number 45 for Minisink Valley, Jimmy Redmond. And as I would like to mention, we apologize for our lack of clarity on the line of scrimmage. We just cannot make out
You can't read
where
the
the yard
numbers.
marker is.
Well, you can't. You also, it's hard. We're away from the field here, and it's tough to even read some of the players getting in on the tackle. So, Mom and Dad, don't fret. We're not missing your son.
Pine Bush has called timeout, so we're going to take a break. 5:08 to go, period number 2. 14-0, the Bushmen on top. We'll be back right after this from sunny Minisink Valley. And 18 from the 27-yard line. We had a UN conference up here to see what yard
Where
they were starting from.
That's right.
Coates on the keeper.
Incomplete.
Pass thrown behind the intended receiver, Doug Murphy.
Intended for Doug Murphy.
3rd down. Coates, number 11, 5'9", 151-pound junior. Last week against O'Neill, he only went to the air 4 times. And when you have the running attack that Pine Bush has, Mike, remember last year you had Cameron, you had Joe Crisp, and you had Craig Rosen. One went up the middle, one could go to the speed to the outside, and one was shifty. They got the same thing this year.
They sure do.
With Watkins, Murphy, and Cameron. Reverse, Murphy.
Murphy coming off the left side.
They love that for a third down play.
Alan Middleman, number 60, on the hit once again. And once again, Minisink Valley diagnosing that reverse.
Well, it's the third time on third down we've seen it. It shouldn't come as a surprise.
It's at the 21-yard line. 4th down and 13. Rampy is split wide to the right.
Coates back to pass.
Coates down the middle, has Rampy. Just knocked away at the last moment.
John Levinson, it looks like, is the person that got his arms up in front of that pass, and he's been a one-man wrecking crew.
Minisink will take over first and
Got a flag on the play on the far side of the field. They're talking to Minisink Valley, so that was a 4th down play, though. They should opt just to take the ball over. There, you see, that's Levinson. Now, he made 2 unassisted tackles downfield in this drive and broke up that play, which would have been for 6.
Mike, if the pass was a little more on the line as opposed to thrown up in the air, you have a touchdown. Because that pass allowed Levinson to get back, and in truth, that pass was thrown short of even Levinson. He could have caught that ball as opposed to knock it down, but he went for the safe play.
Well, he did the right thing. He knew it was 4th down. He would have never gotten back out to, I'm guessing, around the 20-yard line where they're starting, had he decided to catch it and run it out of the end zone.
1st and 10 now, Minisink Valley. They trail by 14, 4:18 to go, period number 2. Pitch out, Ognabini, trying to turn the left corner. Cutting back and getting over the 25 to the 27. Murphy in on the tackle along with Doug Rowe. Nice comeback that time by Jim Ognabini. That's one of the longer gains for Minisink Valley in this first half.
It's about an 8-yard pickup by Ognabini, and I'll tell you, he did most of that on his own. He had some good blocking initially right up front, and once he got stretched out there, though, he was all alone, and he did some fancy two-stepping and cut it back inside to pick up 8.
2nd down and 2. Colby has had his problems here in the first half. Being harassed, drop balls, just not a lot of rhythm. Etkin!
It's beyond the 45-yard line. That was the first
Balance.
down
John Etkin, 1st down, over the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Let's show you what made this play besides the desire of Etkin to make it go. Right here. Here you see Pine Bush thinks that he's down, and they kind of give up. They just slack off for a second, and Etkin kept right on going. 19-yard pickup. John Etkin, who's been leading most of the running plays this afternoon.
An equipment timeout as Etkin, since they almost pulled his cleat off, had to, of course, tie it back on. 3:30 and counting at halftime. My special guest will be from the Times-Herald-Record, Terry Egan, who did not accompany West Point to Penn this week because Bill Burr is in Philadelphia covering the Giants and the Eagles. 2 for the price of 1. Colby in trouble. Flag on the play, and Colby is down. Once again, Dave Torchio with his 2nd quarterback sack of the ball game. We'll have to wait and see what the flag is about, thrown by the umpire, Ron Francisco.
I think they may have had some clipping in the backfield there, Gary, trying to protect Colby. Let's see if we can spot it for you. You may get to see it here. There you see it. Number 68, he gave somebody a big shove for Minisink Valley, number 68, and that looks like the clipping. Now watch me blow this call when I see it right there on the camera. Oh, no. See that? They agree with me.
Clipping penalty.
16-yard loss.
After a 19-yard pickup means that you're plus 3 yards from the original spot of the ball.
But you didn't lose it down on that one because they took the penalty instead of the sack. Or did they? 2nd down and 26.
Huh.
I believe they went with the sack.
Back to pass.
Over the middle, has Getz. And Getz has the first down to the 42-yard line.
17
like
yards on the pass play.
32 and 43-yard line will be first down for the Warriors.
Chad Getz, the longest pass play of the first half so far for Minisink Valley. 17 yards from the shotgun. Colby, there it is, gets in the open from his tight end position. And I said at the outset, Mike, that you have to look for Chad Getz. He gets into those seams. He may become a key receiver. That was the longest reception of the first half, a 27-yard pass play. Colby again, shotgun. Over the middle. And if Ryan doesn't knock that away, that's another pass interception for Doug Rowe in Pine Bush.
You aren't kidding. And again, Getz was open coming back across, but Colby seems to be just zeroing in on one primary receiver, which is something that earlier in the game he was checking off that primary receiver and trying to go somewhere else. Now he seems to zero in. See, Getz coming across right into you. Wide open at the time. 46 had dropped off early.
Mike, to show you how quick Pine Bush is getting off the ball at the line of scrimmage, they force Minisink to go to the shotgun to give Colby time, and even with the shotgun, there's pressure on Colby.
There sure is.
2nd and 10. 2:33 to go, period number 2.
Colby, back to pass. Over the middle.
And that pass was in and out of the hands of Chris Reach. Ed Rampy came in from behind, and Cameron came from the side for the sandwich, making Reach into a bit of football baloney.
Pine Bush looks like they're a much stronger team up front than physically stronger. I mean, they seem to be really just pushing the Minisink Valley players out of the way. The front guys up there, Kevin Holland, who looks like he's just pushing people around. Henry Smith, Stacy Westbrook, Bob Anderson, and of course the guy that so far has played a heck of a defensive game, Dave Torchio.
3rd and 10. Once again, the shotgun formation for Colby. He certainly does give you a show.
Back to pass.
He's got time this time. Right side.
Complete.
And that was, again, in and out of the hands of Chad Getz. He had the ball in his stomach, Mike, and it slipped through, and right in front of the official, or else maybe he could have shielded it for the pass reception, as Minisink Valley has taken a timeout, and so will we. 2:22 to go, period number 2. We'll be back right after these messages with Pine Bush on top by 2 touchdowns. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. We'll be in this first half of action. 5 for 21 with 1 intercept and unofficially 47 yards passing.
A lot different than the first time we were here. In the first half, he went something like 13 for 60.
16 for 30 was what he was in the game number 1.
I'm impressed.
4th and 10.
Colby, back to pass.
Left side screen for Agnabini, way overthrown. Colby once again down. Henry Smith on the clobber in the offensive backfield. So a Minisink Valley drive thwarted once again by Pine Bush, and the Bushmen have time to put another score on the board, Mike, and give them a great deal of momentum going into the locker room for halftime.
Well, I'll tell you, if the Bushmen score, a great deal of momentum at halftime is one thing. 21-0 is a very crucial situation, even with the passing offense of Minisink Valley.
Watkins.
Watkins, left side.
Watkins getting to the 44-yard line, a gain of 2 on the play. Watkins gives them that outside speed. Cameron can go off tackling up the middle, and when you think you have both those guys figured out, they throw in Murphy with an off tackle or a counter play. And Marsh Canosa has a very effective ground game, as he did last year when he won the OCL American Conference, and I think he's going to be in the hunt for that this year. Again, even though he has told me his team is inexperienced and coming along slowly. Here in 1985, Cameron, right side, Cameron still going. Over midfield, over the 45, down to the 43-yard line is Rich Cameron.
That'll be a first down for the Bushmen.
This is nothing but sheer strength here on the part of Cameron. He gets through that good blocking. Now you see him just running on through. I said strength. Actually, nobody hit him till they gang tackled him there after a pickup of 10 yards.
13-yard gain for Rich Cameron. The Abacus working overtime this afternoon. 1:23 to go, period number 2. Coates
That's the pass. Close.
trying to go airborne. Has a man open. Rampy. Ho!
Broken up.
Must be the curse of Gloria,
Yeah, without the-
as there have been so many passes that have gone in and out of the hands this afternoon.
A lot. So I don't know if it's bad concentration or what the story is, but I'll tell you, the way they're hitting out there, it might make me think twice about grabbing something.
The only thing you want to grab right now is a hot dog at halftime with Ben.
And a cola.
As second down at 10 from the 44, a minute 14 to go. Watkins.
Hands off to Watkins, left side.
Watkins getting close to the 40, maybe the 41-yard
And
line.
Witkowski taking down Watkins.
Dan Witkowski, who has played a big game so far this afternoon for Minisink Valley.
Marsh Canosa has done quite a job rebuilding the program over the past 3 years down at Pine Bush, Gary. And I think last year started to really show signs as they came on in their division. And this year looks like it just may be the maturing edge of the Pine Bush football program.
Third down and call it 7 from the 41. Watkins.
Watkins.
And that time they fake the counter, the double reverse counter.
It's up to
And once again, Minisink Valley much equal to the task. A host of tacklers in on that play, led by number 76, Dave Newhouse, from his left end position. So they seem to use that a variation on the third down, Mike, and if you've scouted them over a number of games, and if they've had that tendency, the Pine Bush and the Minisink Valley scouts have done a good job because that's what they have been doing for the most part on third down, as Torchio stands at his 47-yard line and gets off another good kick. And downed once again by Pine Bush, deep in Minisink Valley territory, down by number 46 for the Bushmen, Bill McKenzie. So
That ends
the first half ends with that punt.
And Minisink Valley.
Took me by surprise, but
Yeah,
so have a
me
lot of
too.
other things. 14-0 is the score at halftime. When we come back, a halftime guest. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. As we look skyward at halftime, Minisink Valley trailing Pine Bush by the count of 14-0. And joining me now from the Times Herald Record, Mr. Terry Egan. First of all, you've been watching the first half from sideline. Your impressions?
What was supposed to be a big offensive game is a big defensive game in my mind. Pine Bush is just playing tremendous defense. Forced 2 fumbles deep in, Pine Bush fumbled twice deep in their own territory, and their defense held and led to 1 touchdown pass.
And Colby, who had 2 big games in the first 2 games, getting a lot of pressure from the Pine Bush front 4. And when he does find his receivers, the timing seems to be a little off.
He is. He seems to be off. I don't know if that is from the strong rush or not. He's got the stats to prove that he can connect, but he is under the gun today. That's for sure.
Okay, now, the first 2 weeks of the season and throughout the season, you were at West Point covering the cadets of Army. How good are they?
Army looks real good. They have a bunch of Colgates on their schedule. I can't wait for a Notre Dame and a Memphis State.
Always that little dig.
They can be real good. They're a good running team, obviously, with the wishbone. They have a passing problem. Healy is on and he's off. He's on and he's off. You never know. But until somebody comes and stops that run, they're going to go all the way. They can win 9 ball games.
2 weeks they have Boston College at night, national TV. That's a big game for them.
It is Doug Flutyless Boston College, though, so we don't know what to expect.
We don't know. Maybe Flutie will come back.
Sure, he might come back. The Generals don't seem to want him. That could be a Notre Dame game. If Boston College is up, they're going to win big. If they're down, Army can roll over. Memphis State is the only team that Army should lose to this year.
Okay, now for all you people out there who want to be sports writers, here's a gentleman who is a sports writer for the biggest paper in the area, but who started in the news department. And I find that very interesting. Was that planned, or was that something that just came about by chance?
That was planned. I wanted to learn the business, become a good writer, and especially become a good reporter. And I think that the best way to do that is go news side first. It took me 4 years, and I switched over to sports, finally got an opening. So here I am, happy and dumb.
What about the parallels between the two? What have you been able to take from news to sports, and what are the things from news that you've been able to use that maybe give you an advantage, maybe against some other sports writers looking for angles and looking for what happened beneath the story?
Hopefully it's reporting. If you learn good reporting skills, that can only help with your writing. I like to write. There aren't too many good sports writers in the country that I'm familiar with. But if you have the reporting skills behind you, it's got to help your writing, and it's got to make you sparkle. So
A lot of people want to get into writing. They want to get into broadcasting. Sports is always the glamour field to get into. What would you say to someone who is maybe in high school now and is looking for a career in journalism? What type of course would you chart out?
I left school in my left college in my third year. I wanted to get a jump on some classmates and came up, and I took the bottom rung of the ladder job, and I was writing obituaries for the Times Herald Record, and grew that way. You look, you absorb. No job is too little for you, so start any way you can, as long as you got a foot in the door, and then you'll go from there. Always look, always learn, and by all means, know your English.
And this is the gentleman, the face behind the piece that was written on the 2 minor league ball players from this area, and Terry went out to the Midwest, and I thought that was one of the best articles that I have seen in quite some time. And what was the end result of those two guys, a gentleman from Marlboro and a gentleman from Newburgh?
Yeah, you're kind, guy. Thank you. Willie Frazier from Newburgh, the pitcher, is out in the instructional league in Arizona right now. Mark Casey is off season. He's at home working in the family restaurant. They're both going back to spring training. Willie Frazier will go to the big league, the Angels spring training team, and he should definitely go to AA ball, and his future, one of the scouts, in fact, in his organization says he'll be on the big league team in 2 years.
Okay, one final question, the second half here. What does Minisink Valley have to do to get back in this ballgame? Because we know what Pine Bush can do to keep ahead in this ballgame.
Well, Colby's got to throw short passes to the sides, left and right, and when Pine Bush isn't watching, go deep.
Okay, and Terry's on his way to tell Pete Oxner exactly what to do for that second half.
He'll listen.
My thanks to Terry Egan for the Times Herald Record. The score at halftime, Pine Bush on top by the count of 14-0. When we come back the third quarter, you're watching the Cable 6 game of the week.
Galucci kicks it off to Tony Watkins, who takes it at the 15-yard line. Watkins looking to turn that left side.
Kickoff and taken down by...
And Watkins, excellent field position now for Pine Bush, and the Bushmen will take over 1st and 10. To recap the scoring, Rich Cameron, he is the scoring. A 5-yard touchdown run and a 9-yard touchdown run. Minisink Valley was not able to capitalize on Pine Bush turnovers. Pine Bush, on the other hand, was able to take advantage of Minisink Valley turnovers and good field position off a short punt. George Colby did not have a good first half. 4 for 21 unofficially for 47 yards, and the Pine Bush running game has been, if not outstanding, they have been effective against Minisink Valley. But I think the key is we see Watkins go up that left side. The key, Mike Terrell, has been the defensive play of Pine Bush, both in the trenches and the defensive secondary.
Without a doubt, Gary. The defensive secondary has been playing a zone coverage and been successful at it. And the reason they've been successful is because there's been so much pressure put on Colby by that front 5, which often changes into a front 7 coming at him. We have a second down now on 5, and they'll be from the 38-yard line.
And the offensive backfield, Rich Cameron, Tony Watkins, and Doug Murphy for Pine Bush as Murphy goes in motion and gets the handoff. Has the first down, cuts back inside, and is over midfield for Pine Bush. The tackle made by Eric Grunwald, the nose guard, number 66, for Minisink Valley. Pine Bush has been quick. They have been strong. Minisink Valley has been quick, but Pine Bush has been just a step quicker for most of this ball game. And there you see the nice tackle by Grunwald, but the excellent run by Murphy, as that brings him all the way to the 47-yard line, a 10-yard gain, and the Bushmen have their first down of the third period.
Murphy, right side to
Once again, Murphy. And Murphy has a hole and some running room. Murphy is down at the 1-yard line, but we have a penalty flag all the way back at the 45-yard line. We'll have to wait for the call from Clarence Comfort.
Well, Murphy fumbled at the 1-yard line. He fumbled the ball in, and Rampy fell on the ball in the end zone. They have called a touchdown, but that flag is what we have to wait for, Gary. There you see Murphy. Once he gets past, the linebackers had all come up inside on the motion in the backfield, and once he got past that initial line of scrimmage, he had a lot of open territory. Touchdown being called back. We have not gotten the sign from the referee on the field. Here it comes now from Mr. Comfort.
Blocking
Blocked below the waist.
below the waist. Call that we haven't seen too often so far in this 1985 season.
First down.
And that'll set up a first down and 25 for Pine Bush, all the way back to the 41-yard line. So a touchdown for Pine Bush here in the third period, called back. Cameron, right side, ran over the initial contact and then was brought down after a gain of 3 on the play. Mike, it appeared to me that the Pine Bush scouts, or the Pine Bush spotters, went into the locker room at halftime and maybe told Marsh Canosa that they were calling a lot of Cameron and a lot of Watkins, but they saw an opening to use Murphy because they called his number twice in the first 3 plays from scrimmage.
Murphy's got good quickness too, Gary, once he breaks through, and he looks like he's pretty strong out there as well.
Gain of 3 on the play. Second down and 21. This time Murphy, left side. And Murphy gets to midfield. Just a reminder, at the conclusion of the ball game, the Cable 6 offensive and defensive players of the game. Ed Pagalucci down at the bottom of that pile. And they have to get down to the 37-yard line, so it's 3rd and 13 as you take a look at Marsh Canosa on the far sideline. Wears his hat just like Mike Terrell always wears it. Which way
He took
is
it
the
from
parade?
me.
That's
He
right.
took it from me.
3rd and 13. Maybe a passing situation for Pine Bush. They don't like to go to the air too often.
Right is the ball carrier
Right.
coming out the left side. Again, the tackler.
Jimmy Wright, who gets over the 45 down to the 42-yard line. And that'll set up an interesting call for Pine Bush as we have an injured Minisink Valley ball player down on the field. A straight sweep on the left side, Wright following his blockers, makes the Knights cutback, and Joe Murtaugh got him around the waist, and the injured ball player is being attended to, and we have an official's timeout. So you take a look at Pete Oxner. Just want to mention our thanks to Frank Carrozza from Minisink Valley, athletic director, and we enjoy coming to Minisink Valley. And another penalty flag on the play. Personal foul face mask against Minisink Valley, pushing it all the way down to the 27-yard line. So my, how the fortunes have changed. It would have been a 4th down. It is now a 1st and 10 for Pine Bush from the 27. The injured ball player, number 45, Jim Redmond, defensive end for Minisink Valley. And now another excellent opportunity for Pine Bush. 8:58 to go, period number 3. They are on top by the count of 14-0 and looking for more. Watkins, he's got some room. Has the first down, Watkins, and is pulled down on that far sideline. Steve Livacore making the touchdown-saving tackle on Tony Watkins.
Here you see it's just a straight around the outside with the guards pulling. Here you see a good block out front by number 55 on the offense. That's Doug Rowe for Pine Bush. And a sizable pickup. We got a 1st and 10 from about the 12-yard line.
15-yard gain that time by Tony Watkins. And this time Murphy, left side. Looking to turn that corner. Murphy gets the corner of the end zone, touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown run by Doug Murphy, and Pine Bush now on top by the count of 20-0.
Again, just the same play to the other side, this time with Murphy carrying the ball around the left side of the offensive line, and a couple of good blocks, and he outran the defense.
Joe Bergen, the sidewinder, will attempt the extra point. Shannon will hold. And the kick goes straight into the line and is blocked. So the score, with 8:23 to go, period number 3, Pine Bush 20, Minisink Valley nothing. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. Pine Bush on top, 3rd period, as they look for their 3rd win in this 1985 season. Another short kick by Pine Bush, taken by Etkin at the 25. And Etkin over the 35, down to the 37-yard line. So Minisink Valley has excellent field position. Mike, we've talked about it many times. They are never out of the ball game because of the passing of Colby. but so far that passing has not been able to get on track in periods 1 and 2. We'll have to see what takes place in period number 3.
Well, when we came in today, Gary, I don't think either one of us thought that this game would be dominated by the running team. We were looking for a much more balanced scoring game, and so far the defense of Pine Bush is really the story, even though the score is 20-0.
Colby 5 for 21 in that first half. First man through is Etkin, straight up the middle. Etkin, a gain of 9 on the play. Quick hitter that time. I don't think Pine Bush expected that. I thought they'd think Colby was going to go to the air immediately.
I'm sure they did, and Etkin has carried the ball, I think, just twice this afternoon, and on both of them, he's looked pretty good. That time he picks up 8 yards, 9 yards almost, and on the first attempt, he did the same thing.
Well, Colby is going to have to get this offense in gear and get it in gear quick. There is no time to waste right now as he goes to the air.
Colby passing. Incomplete instead of Jim Ogdenbenny.
And Colby looking to Pete Oxner. And Oxner yelling at Ogdenbenny, so we'd have to assume that Ogdenbenny ran a down and in as opposed to a down and out. And as you see the two confer right there.
Well, you would think on that play that he was going out. He just wants to make the short completion, get the first down, move the ball 6-7 yards upfield. He just wants to get something rolling. They've had no offense all day.
Chris Reach into the ball game. He'll take the plays in from Pete Oxner at the split end position. He'll alternate with Brian Schofield. Going the conservative way, Colby up the middle at midfield. First down, Minisink Valley. And unofficially, we only have them for 3 first downs in this entire ball game.
Not such a bad call, though, Gary. You got to get the first down to keep control, so you might as well go get it right away. I brought my own engineer today, guys, in the truck. Don't think that I'm cutting out.
First and 10 from the Pine Bush side of the 50-yard line. North by northwest. Colby from the shotgun. Gets it off to Etkin. And Colby averted a very big loss on that play. As it is, it's a loss of 5. It could have been a loss of 10 or more, as Colby was certainly harassed in that offensive backfield. He got off the short pass to Etkin, but that good defensive pressure that time on George Colby.
Well, he wouldn't have lost anything had the block held in front of Etkin, but the block did not hold. There you see a high snap out of the shotgun, a lot of pressure. He gets it. Now, if that block had held, the guy got pushed off there, number 68, and just never came back to help out again.
So we have a loss of 5 on the play, Mike, setting up a second down and 15 from the 46-yard line. Good night. Once again, Dave Torchino in on the play, along with number 66, Henry Smith. So Torchino now with 2.5 sacks in this ball game.
And he's real impressive. They had a little guy up front last year, too, on the nose guard position. You usually have total recall. I'm waiting. I think he wore like number 1 or some odd
He was very small.
He was a short little 5'3" guy, and similar to Torchino in his aggressiveness, if not in stature anyway.
And Colby having a little trouble eluding that pass rush that time. So the ball is pushed all the way back to the 36-yard line, the original line of scrimmage, the 49-yard line of Pine Bush. So they've been pushed back 14 yards so far on this drive, and a whistle and a flag on the play.
Penalty flag down.
5:17 to go in period number 3, and Minisink Valley may be pushed back even more. Well, Marsh Canosa has to be very, very happy with his defensive play so far. And let's talk a little bit about the assistant coaches. We don't know who is in charge of the defense, but the assistant coaches are Jeff Mazanet, John Salvador, and John Burns. And whichever gentleman is in charge of the defense should be very proud of his group at this particular point, because they are playing outstanding football in this contest. Third down and a long cab ride. Ogdenbenny looking to turn that left side. No, sir. Ed Rampy, and another flag on the play just at the conclusion of that play.
On the play, penalty flag down.
The call made by the umpire. We'll have to see what transpires.
A lot of frustration, I think, starting to set in on the Minisink Valley side. They just can't seem to do anything right, and so now they're starting to take some late shots, late blocking shots, or getting in behind the man for a clip. And they're talking to Pine Bush again, and Colby says, let me lend an ear and see what's going on here.
The penalty is declined. That'll be a punting situation. Ed Tagalucci will do the punting for the Warriors. Shannon and Rampy back for...
Are we speaking of next week already? I see you going through the scheduled notes.
I was looking for the official call what flapping of the wings meant.
That meant never got off the ground.
Paglucci.
Tagalucci's kick.
And the kick will be down at the 32-yard line, where Pine Bush will take it over first and 10.
Take over. First and 10.
So Minisink Valley, once again, cannot get their offense in gear. They did mark up their first down of the third period, but after that, they just went backwards. And Pine Bush now will take it over first and 10. What I was looking for, Mike, was a sheet that I had that had all the official calls on it. I haven't seen
The
that call,
flappings and all that
the
stuff.
flapping of the wings, so we'll have to double check once we have a timeout to see what that call was to transmit that information to the fans. Murphy, right side.
Murphy, right side.
Murphy picks up about 3 on the play, Gary, and he's a good, maybe a little bit more than that. About 5 yards on that play, and again, that's just a little round the right end side with some lead blocking, your right guard pulling and getting out in front, help from the tight end on that side.
3:54 to go and counting in period number 3. The only thing I could think of, Mike, was a little unsportsmanlike conduct.
Could be.
But we'll have to double check. Coates on the keeper. Has a hole. Coates over the 45. And Coates is finally brought down on the near sideline, but a first and 10 for Pine Bush as Coates called his own number.
He's not a bad runner himself. He's real quick on that sprint out as he picks up enough for the first down and then some. Here you see Coates, a little fake into the line, gets out, has good blocking in front, and then just runs it on the angle and just doesn't get out before he gets hit.
10-yard gain that time for George Coates. First and 10 from the 47. Cameron. Blasting up the middle is Cameron into Minisink Valley territory, over the 5, down to the 42-yard line, and that'll be another first down for Pine Bush. Their second of this drive, a gain of 11 on the play for Cameron. They're just blasting open that front line of Minisink Valley, Mike. Doug Rowe on that right side, along with the center, Tim Rafferty, and they are just creating hole after hole for Rich Cameron. John Barcelo from that right tackle slot, as we see Cameron once again. Barcelo is the man that came in for Owen McCain, who has an injury but will be back next week. And he and Rowe have been opening up holes all afternoon for Cameron on that right side.
Cameron slipped down too, Gary. He had more daylight to the outside, and he was trying to get there, and he just slipped down out of the way, going to the left.
Second down and 6. The relentless ground attack of Pine Bush.
Murphy, right side.
Doug Murphy. Nice cutback that time. Looks to be very close to the first down and appears to have it at the 31.
He's a good-looking runner. We didn't see much of him in the first half, but he's gotten a little chance to show his stuff here.
Mike, you made a point earlier in the ball game that Pine Bush appears to be a little bit bigger than Minisink Valley, a little bit stronger, and with the type of attack that they use, that ground attack that they use, it tends to wear you down as the game progresses. And here we see in the third period and approaching period number 4, the Minisink Valley ball players may be getting a little worn down by that relentless ground game of Pine Bush. Cameron.
Hands off to Cameron, right side. Penalty flag down on the play.
Now,
a real late flag.
What you talked about hurdling, Mike, may be what was called right there.
Could be.
And we may have a good shot of Rich Cameron.
Here it comes.
Looking to make Soul in 88 right there. Hello!
You know what's surprising, Gary, is for such a big guy, he gets up off the ground a little bit. But I believe that's illegal in high school football. I don't think you can hurdle people. I think if you are hurdling, you have to be going forward.
And we see the diversity of the Pine Bush running attack from that statistic right there.
You know, hurtling forward with the full body, not landing on the feet to continue the play.
Do you remember what play caused that rule to be put into effect in the pro game?
Gee, I don't.
Do you remember Mike Battle?
Yes, on the return, the kickoff return
Against
for
the
New York
Jets, against the Giants.
Yeah,
or the
for
Jets.
the New York Jets in a preseason game, and someone got wrecked, I think, by his foot being dragged across. Maybe it was Battle that got wrecked.
We'll have to double check on the calls. And once again, we apologize. I saw a holding call against Pine Bush. I think the hurdling call was also in effect. They took the longer one, which was the hold. But we are not getting clear signals from the field, so we can just guesstimate what the penalty it was. I saw a holding penalty against Pine Bush, and then possibly the hurdle also, and they went with the longer of the penalties, which was the hold. The 46-yard line. The Bushmen. With 1:42 to go, they have a second down and 14. Murphy again. Witkowski, who has played a strong ball game, all ball game long for Minisink Valley, making the hit. And that'll present a third down situation for Marsh Canosa and his Bushmen. Next week, we will be at Pine Bush talking about next week, where you will once again see the Port Jervis Red Raiders in action against the Bushmen from Pine in an interconference battle. That's shaping up as a very, very big game between two possibly undefeated teams, depending on what takes place this week. Third down and 9. Coates.
Somebody missed a play. I think Murphy did.
A loss on the play will bring up a fourth down situation for the Bushmen.
George Coates saying to himself, now what do I do? You guys put me in this situation.
What is it, my deodorant? You got back there, nobody was left.
Why do you have to run right by me?
Hey, come on, guys. This is a team game. 35 seconds left in the third quarter of play, and it's 20-0 Pine Bush, and they have just once again dominated the third quarter with their ground attack.
4th and 12 from the 38. They're going to go for it. Too close to punt, too far to try a field goal. Murphy, so he'll try the right side. Not this time. Dave Newhouse, right end. Nice play. Wasn't going to let Murphy turn that corner. Lassoed him around the shoulder pads and brought him down. For a loss on the play, more importantly for Minisink Valley, it gives them possession 1st and 10 at the 36, as that is the last play, or should be the last play, of the third period. 20-0, Pine Bush on top, and that is the end of the third period. The score, Pine Bush on top, 20-0. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. 1st and 10 for Minisink Valley. We got the official word. Unsportsmanlike conduct on that waving of the arms as Colby goes into motion, looking for Ryan on the right side. Can't find him. Colby once again looking at the beautiful blue sky here at Slate Hill.
Oh, did he get leveled just as he released the football? And that's been happening to him quite often today. And I think George is a little frustrated. He's not used to coming out and not putting some numbers on the board.
Mike, he's thrown for over 300 yards in his first 2 ball games. In this ball game, he's not even at 50.
I don't believe he is, Gary.
And if he is over 50, it's not by a heck of a lot. We have unofficially 47. Once again, no wagering on that unofficial stat. Nice play by Rampy, a flag on the play, and we'll see if it goes against the defense. Rampy is protesting, and that may be the call. Pass intended for Chris Reach, and let's see if we can pick it up.
It's going to be tough to pick up because I think it was a pretty clean play. Let's see now. I may be wrong. There you see Colby throwing it downfield. I'll tell you, it's a toss-up. Maybe it's time to give one back to Minisink, huh?
Pass interference against Pine Bush. 1st and 10 for Minisink Valley from the 50-yard line. 11:48 to go, period number 4. Minisink trailing 20-0. If things go right for Minisink, they could provide us with one of the best fourth quarters we've ever seen as Colby goes straight back, right side. threw it on the inside of Ryan, he had the opening on the outside. And that's that little bit of timing, Mike, that we've been talking about all ball game.
That's right, Gary, and it's something that he misses because his frontline receiver, Joe Sotolano, has been injured, was injured in the first game we brought to you this year on Cable 6, and he's been out. And, of course, all through the summer practice and the beginning of fall practice, that's the man that Colby was timing with Sotolano. So he's lost that timing here with Ryan.
2nd and 10 from midfield.
Yeah, Pine Bush showed blitz, and they went to shift to pick up the blitz, and Jeff McNeil pulled off offside. He wanted to get at him a little early.
Well, he saw Pine Bush jump, and he said, listen, you guys going to jump? I'm going to try to jump with you.
I like this song. Let's all dance. Yeah.
11:44 to go, period number 4. First period was filled with numerous turnovers and touchdowns and everything you could possibly want. Since then, the game has been pretty standard fare, except if you're George Colby and you're passing, and he has Getz that time, though. And Getz is down to the 35, a 20-yard gain. 1st and 10, Minisink Valley, no flags on the play.
That was a great catch by Getz, I'll tell you that. He went up and got the ball. He's a big target out there, Getz is. He stands 6'2", and I'll tell you, when he jumps, he's about 6'8" or 9. Good-sized target for Colby to throw to. We got flags. I don't know if they know what they got, but they got something because the yellow came out. What was he doing? Giving the guy time to get off the field, or we got movement? We got a penalty.
Illegal procedure call.
Must have been. Pete Oxner is not complaining too much on the sideline over that call. I didn't see a lot of movement, though.
1st and 15. Colby will go airborne almost exclusively from here on out as he trails by 20 and is looking to get his passing attack in gear.
Colby, quick pass.
And there was some motion, Mike, on that right side once again as the pass was intended for Brian Schofield.
Late flag came out, and I think you got it right, Gary. I think we see some motion on the right side of that line. Colby is not throwing the way he threw, obviously, the first day we were here when he threw for over 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns, or 3 touchdowns, I believe, on the day. And he's just not having that type of afternoon today. A lot of frustration setting in. His men, not only are they not open, he's getting a lot of pressure. He's throwing short. He's having to throw on rollouts, and something that he prefers not to do.
1st and 20 now, Mike. He also didn't get the pressure in that first game that he's getting in this game, and I think that has a little bit to do with it. Just out of sync and out of rhythm. Colby got Ryan that time. And Ryan gets out of bounds at the 36-yard line. That time he hit Ryan going away in the numbers. Ryan made the reception, and they're almost at the original line of scrimmage.
Well, Ryan looks to be an effective receiver if the ball's let out for him. You'll see him grab this, and he keeps a nice little cut, lowers his shoulder, and picks up an extra yard and a half.
9-yard gain on the play. They'll spot the ball now on the 36-yard line. The original line of scrimmage was about the 36.5. And they have to get, obviously, down to around the 26-yard line as Colby drops back once again. Over the middle, has a man, Schofield, make that reach. He's down on one knee, and they'll have to call him down at the 21-yard line, but another first down for George Colby in Minisink Valley, and the air attack seems to be gaining height with every oncoming pass. Quick setup offense right here. Colby has a first down at the 21-yard line. That was a 15-yard gain by Colby.
Colby, back to pass.
He's going to roll right as Colby.
Colby keeping
And Colby brought down
taken down.
Henry Smith, once again, number 66, who has played an excellent ball game for Pine Bush all afternoon, brought Colby down. And Colby is not that fast a runner, Mike, because with a little more speed, he would have been able to pick up a few more yards on that play. He wants to hold the ball to the last moment, try to find that receiver, and try to get it to him.
Well, he doesn't have the best set of wheels in the world either. He's working on a couple of knees that have been operated on, and he has had a problem with them before. Gary, that time you can credit that play to just good secondary coverage on the part of Pine Bush.
2nd and 10 from the 21. Colby did get back to the original line of scrimmage. Ryan is split wide to the left. Colby looking over the middle, has his man Schofield, and Schofield is down to the 15-yard line. Another flag on the play, and that could be against Matt Shannon for a late hit on George Colby. There's Pete Oxner. He's happy about that one.
Well, he says it's about time. My guy's been getting blasted in the head all afternoon here on these late shots. Come on, guys, give me one after some of the calls you've been making on me. And that's just what happened. Watch this. And we just lost it as you saw the man leaping through the air. He's the man that got the penalty thrown on him as a really nailed Colby right up alongside the head with a forearm.
If it's a major penalty, Mike, it can only go half the distance to the goal line because they are inside the 30. The pass reception was down to the 15. Let's see where they mark it off to.
I thought the band left after they had national anthem.
No. They've been on the right. They've been on the stands looking skyward.
Not much to play over, huh?
Okay, so we have a late hit personal foul against Minisink Valley, rather against Pine Bush, and that will set up a 1st and goal now from the 7. So as quickly as you can say George Colby, Pine Bush has to look at Mr. Colby right in the eye now and see if they can stare him down inside the 10-yard line. Colby can bring a team back quickly. Looking for Ryan, and touchdown!
Great catch on the part of Chris Ryan.
And one heck of a pass, because I'll tell you, Kevin Holland and Dave Torchio were all over George Colby, and did he make a nice pass under extreme pressure against Pine Bush. Let's take a look at it one more time. The pressure right there by Holland falling away. Ryan able to hold on to it. And
nice
now Ed Pagalucci will attempt the extra point with Schofield, the holder. 9:36 to go, period number 4. Plenty of time. As Pagalucci tries to bring Minisink Valley 1 point closer. The kick is up. And it is good. So with 9:36 to go, period number 4, Minisink Valley's on the board for the first time. They trail 20-7. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week. Down drive by Minisink Valley. George Colby on the afternoon, now 10 for 31. Closing in on 100 yards gained passing through the air. And he has absorbed a lot of punishment, but more importantly, Minisink Valley is back in this ball game. Watkins at the 12. Over the 20, Pagalucci kicked it and makes the tackle at the 32.
Boy, did he get down there quick, huh? 20-yard return for Tony Watkins, and he's another guy that does it all, doesn't he? He plays defensive back, he's half-back, and kick return, man. About the only thing he doesn't do is hike the ball to himself.
Mike, this may be the most important series of downs in the ball game. Minisink Valley has just scored, and Pine Bush now is going to try to grind out the yardage on the ground, eat up the clock, and keep possession. We'll see what happens. 1st and 10 from the 32. Cameron. And he's strung out along that left side. Good defensive play that time by Minisink Valley. Leading that defensive charge, Scott Pauls, number 58. Along with number 45, Jim Redmond, who is back in action from his defensive end position. He had to be helped off the field earlier in the 3rd period. Plenty of time for Minisink Valley, and Marsh Canosa a bit concerned now as his team faces a 2nd down and 11 from the 31.
2nd and 11.
Murphy looking to turn that corner. He's got some running room, and he's very close to the 1st down as he is finally brought down by Steve Livacore. Dave Newhouse came in and almost made a late hit.
As we take a look at it again, you're going to see here, watch number 55 out in front of us. Good blocking all the way up. Just rides his man right out of the play. Let's give him a little credit. That's Doug Rowe. Excellent blocking up front for Pine Bush.
And Doug Rowe has had an outstanding ball game from that right guard position for Pine Bush. That was a gain of 11 on the play. First and 10, and a big one for Pine Bush now from the 47. Watkins looking to turn the left corner.
Left side.
And Watkins is dragged down from behind.
About the 45, gain of about 2 on the play.
George Federici, number 55, in on the tackle,
On the tackle.
along with 56 Jim Monroe from Minisink Valley. And the Minisink Valley offense, we see them right in front of us. They are on the bench. They are huddled around George Colby. They want to get back on that field. They think they have found the key to the Pine Bush defense, but it's up to the Minisink Valley defense now to put the crunch on that Pine Bush running again. Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. Cameron, and he's stopped for no gain, setting up a 3rd down. Dave Newhouse, again, in on the tackle, along with Paglucci. 3rd down and 9 for Pine Bush. 7:11 to go. Period number 4. Big 3rd down play, Mike. Something keeps being thrown on the field. I have no idea what it is. Looks like a broken arrow.
Exactly, from the Warriors.
Very intelligent. Watkins straight up the middle. Look at Watkins' motor. Kiss that baby goodbye.
Gone. He is gone. I'll tell you, he is quick. He got through that open hole created by the men up front on Pine Bush, and he just did nothing but show his cleats. You're going to get to see it again. A 56-yard TD for Tony Watkins. Well over 100 yards for him this afternoon.
Oh,
How can you explain it? You got to just watch it and enjoy.
nothing to say on that one. Joe Bergen now will attempt the extra point. Matt Shannon will hold. And what was the key 3rd down, faked this time by Shannon. And he gets it to the end zone. Matt Shannon. 2-point conversion, make it 28-7. 6:46 to go, 4th period. Pine Bush now on top by 21. We'll be back after these messages. You're watching the Cable 6 game of the week.
6:46 remaining in the ballgame.
For 34 for Pine Bush, he's certainly over 100 yards. He's had 2 big gainers in this ball game. A 53-yard touchdown run, rather a 53-yard run in the 1st period, which almost was a touchdown. He was caught from behind. Rich Cameron then brought it in from the 5, and then a 56-yard touchdown run. Those 2 runs right there, 109 yards for Tony Watkins. And he has been superb this afternoon for Pine Bush. And now Minisink Valley has a very steep uphill climb. And just a reminder, the conclusion of the ball game, Cable 6 offensive and defensive players of the game, as selected by the Cable 6 Sports and production staff.
Yes. They may get a vote this week because I'll tell you, there's some tough selections.
1st and 10 now. That's right. Oh, yeah. The guys in the truck, we love them. 35-yard line. 1st and 10, and Colby is out of the ball game. Tom Patterson, the new quarterback from Minisink Valley. So Pete Oxner has said, George, you've taken enough this afternoon. And right there, Kevin Holland gets his mitts around Tom Patterson and says, welcome to this football game. It has been rough, it has been tough, and it has been the Pine Bush defensive line which has been the determining factor as they have harassed Minisink Valley throughout this ball game.
Do you think Patterson begged to come into the game after he saw the beating that Colby was taking back there after releasing the ball?
And Colby certainly has taken quite a beating this afternoon. As we see John Etkin up the middle. But Mike, Minisink Valley had fought back. They scored a touchdown. It was up to the Minisink Valley defense to stop Pine Bush. And Pine Bush is tough on the ground.
They sure are tough on the ground, Gary. And again, I go back to something we stated in the 1st half. Maybe the 2nd quarter, so we started talking about the strength of the 2 teams. And I think that a program that Marsh Canosa has begun at Pine Bush with the weightlifting and the heavy exercise program has paid off. And I think it pays off when you come in against a team with as much talent as Minisink Valley. Maybe you match up pretty good size-wise, but overall strength and endurance definitely seems to be on the part of Pine Bush. And that's what's showing as we get here into the 3rd and 4th quarters.
And just a reminder, every weeknight at 6:30, 7:30, and 8:30, unless there's International Championship Wrestling or the Cable 6 Game of the Week. The Cable 6 Nightly Reports, anchored by Tracy Baxter, Marianne Worley, and yours truly on sports, the sights and sounds that affect your lives. The Cable 6 Nightly Report, we bring it to you Monday through Friday, and happy to do it. 5:34, period number 4, Minisink Valley facing a steep uphill climb, and unless something drastically changes in this ball game, Pine Bush will go into next week's matchup against Port Jervis at 3-0 and very convincing in all 3 victories. Patterson trying to read the stunting defense of Pine Bush. Agnabini on the fumble, and it's covered quickly by Little Jim. And that'll set up a 4th down, a punting situation for Minisink Valley, and Pagalucci going into the ball game to handling the chores.
Well, Agnabini at least did the right thing that time, Gary. No sense giving up possession of the ball. When it got out in front of him, he dove right on it.
We are right now taking balloting for the offensive and defensive players of the ball game. And Mike Terrell, he must be mellowing with age, because agreeable, you wouldn't want a more agreeable guy on these selections.
Absolutely amazing, isn't it? Well, I have been here to disagree with today, Gary, so I don't need to disagree with you.
And Minisink Valley, I believe, only had 10 men on the field and had to call a timeout. So we're going to take a break. 4:52 to go, period number 4. You're watching the Cable 6 Game of the Week with Pine Bush on top 28-7. 4:52 to go. There you see the score. Colby is in the ball game now, but not to do anything but call signals. And the punt will be down at the 47-yard line. Let me take this opportunity to mention the crew for our Cable 6 Game of the Week, doing an outstanding job as usual. The director, Brian Pratt, A.D. Keith, don't say please to me, Clark. Andy Heinrich on graphics. Skip Thiela, our engineer. On audio, the Jungle Man, Jim Davoli, who did a superb report on the old and new Paramount Theater in Middletown yesterday. Jim getting out into that community. On camera, Scott Healy, John Meyer, and Tom Diana when the camera does function. And on stats, Charlie, don't order the pizza, Guido. As Watkins looking to turn that left corner and is finally forced out of bounds over the 45-yard line down to the 43. And Watkins is just tearing up the yardage for Pine Bush.
I don't know what's a more interesting show at this point, the ball game or 4x4 on the sidelines waddling back and forth, keeping up with it. Pine Bush just keeps rolling along, and here you'll see it again. Here's Watkins going to the outside, cuts in behind the blocking of Doug Rowe once again, steps back to the outside and picks up 8 more.
2nd down and call it a long one. Tony Watkins approaching that 135-yard mark for Pine Bush, and there we see right now trying the right side. Flag on the play. Heck of a tackle that time by number 14 for Minisink Valley, Tom Struck, who was reported into the contest. And Tom Struck.
What's Struck?
Down low.
Bang. Nice tackle. That's the way they teach it.
How about a bad play on words? Struck on that one. As you see the competing television station. No, that's the Pine Bush
You're getting cynical in your older age, Mr. Sussman, I'm telling you.
I just like, when I hear something good, I like to repeat it.
I'll bet you. Your dog. He'll probably watch this game and write a letter. But listen, as long as they keep watching, who cares?
Next week, we will be at Pine Bush for Port Jervis at Pine Bush. And assuming that the Red Raiders won today, which, of course, is not a cool thing to do when you don't know the scores, Doug Murphy gets across midfield into Minisink Valley territory. 2 excellent ball teams, Pine Bush and Port Jervis. This afternoon, the Red Raiders were entertaining Valley Central at home as we take a look at Murphy one more time, and he's had an excellent ball game. So it would be a very big surprise if Port Jervis was not undefeated after hosting Valley Central. Hasn't had a great deal of football fortune in the past couple years. 3rd down and 7. Murphy, just a straight buck-off tackle as 3:33 to go in period number 4.
Next week does size up as an interesting contest, Gary, for the simple reason the balanced attack we saw from Port Jervis last week. They have a new dimension called a split end, which they just discovered this year, and he is quite a good one.
Derek Wilkerson.
Derek Wilkerson. He can run, he can catch, he can run patterns, and then there's a couple of guys in the backfield there. Of course, Charlie Wilkerson, we've been watching for 3 years now. And let's get this punt off.
Torchio certainly does. Fumble. And I think Minisink Valley has regained possession. And just let me make a mention, Mike, of Dave Torchio, who has handled the punting chores. He has been quite a force from his punting position. He has nailed Minisink Valley a number of times deep in their own territory. I remember one that put Minisink Valley, they had a 1st and 10 from the 2.
He's had an excellent day today, both defensively and with the punt. Now, gotten them back. He's kicked good high kicks, so he's had good coverage on everything that he's let go this afternoon. He's a good ball player.
And he is our defensive player of the ball game. Number 40, Dave Torchio for Pine Bush, our defensive player of the ball game. And our offensive player of the ball game, who else? Tony Watkins, number 34, who has peeled off a few long runs, a couple TDs, and he has just been outstanding. Timeout, Minisink Valley, so will we. 2:41 to go, period number 4. Pine Bush on top comfortably, 28-7. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching the game of the week. Members of the Mike Terrell fan club on hand for this ball game from Minisink Valley.
Yes, indeed.
2:41 to go. 1st and 10 for the Warriors is Ognabini. And Minisink has not been able to get past 3 or 4 yards, and then that Pine Bush defense closes in. Ralph Rowan on the tackle that time, or rather Doug Rowan on the tackle. Bill McKenzie also lending a helping hand. Dave Torchio, our defensive player of the ball game. The decision was not an easy one, but we combined Torchio's pursuit from his nose guard position along with his superb punting, and that weighed heavily in his favor, because I'll tell you, Kevin Holland and Henry Smith from his defensive end position, and Anderson and Westbrook, they have been enormous up front this afternoon for Pine Bush, and give them a lot of credit with throttling the passing attack of Minisink Valley and George Colby. Tony Pitt.
You got him, Tony Pitt.
Almost spit that ball out. Ooh.
Yeah, well, but he did the right thing. He fumbled it forward.
Well, today, or yesterday, was the opening of the Knicks and Nets training camp, so there is a little basketball flavor in the air. Just dribbled the ball to himself, that's all.
Patrick got his number back.
Just one little sidebar on the Knicks.
Let's hear it.
Don't expect the Knicks to win the NBA title this year.
No, but
because there's a man who is not going to be playing for a little while named Bernard King.
That's right.
Who is very key to that attack.
We may not see him all season.
We may not. But Patrick should be exciting to watch. Rich Carey up the middle, as a number of substitutes have
I was just going to say they've changed just about the whole offensive backfield on us now. So it's really tough to keep looking at the program and pick them up and find out where they're at on the field.
Next week, Mike Terrell will be in Ohio all week, scouting Ohio State, but he'll come back for our Cable 6 game of the week.
Columbus, Cleveland, and Dayton, here we come.
Whoa. Fort Jervis at Pine Bush. Charlie Guido wants to know what happened to the Subway Series. It was befuddled by graffiti, Charlie.
Yes.
Someone wrote all over the Yankees and the Mets.
Somebody called the Cleveland Indians.
You got to be able to beat Pittsburgh. Carey, right side. Turning that corner, Carey over the 50 into Pine Bush territory at the 47-yard line. I just want to know one thing. When we're done doing these ball games, are you going to write a book about me like Howard Cosell wrote about Frank Gifford and O.J. and Dandy Don?
Never. Never. I am not a person to go in and start trying to make money off of ex-friendships.
That's if we were friends to begin with. Beautiful scenery in the background as you see, I guess those are the Shwangunks?
Good call, Mr. Sussman. Boy, are you on top of your mountain ranges.
And
We're ready. If you're ready, go right ahead.
Rich Carey around.
We're
that
talking
right
about mountains during a football game. You think we're waiting for a replay?
side. 36 seconds to go. After the ball game, we will have Doug Torchio, Tony Watkins, and Marsh Canosa. And Marsh, I'll tell you, he was beautiful in the pregame. He said, we're very inexperienced. We're coming along as best as could be expected. Please don't send the roses out Avita, but we'll show up for the ball game, and boy, did they ever.
Bring tea leaves next week, and they'll read fortunes.
Carey taken down at the line of scrimmage. For Minisink Valley, it's just a simple case. You live and die by the pass. If that passing attack isn't clicking, you have a lot of trouble.
Well, I don't really think it was a matter of the passing attack not clicking. It never got a chance to with the pressure put on by Pine Bush. So I think the credit goes to the defense of Pine Bush.
And time is running down very quickly here, and that is the ball game. 28-7 the final score. Pine Bush winning their third, Minisink Valley falling to 1-2. When we come back the post game, you're watching the Cable 6 game of the week.
Standing with me are offensive and defensive players of the ball game. First of all, on my left, Tony Watkins, who is our offensive player of the ball game, and our defensive player of the game, Dave Torchio, the nose guard, number 40 for Pine Bush. First of all, let's talk to Tony. Tremendous running. We don't know unofficially. You had close to 150 yards on the ground. Tell us about that first run in the first quarter. You thought you were into the end zone.
Yes, I thought it was there. I was watching him at the corner of my eye. I tell you, I had it. He just nicked my ankle, took me out.
Now, your ground attack is very explosive. You can use Cameron up the middle. You can use yourself around Ed and Doug Murphy to counter. What about the times that you carry the ball? How much does each guy look to carry the ball, or does it depend on how the defense is playing?
Depends on how the defense is playing. Like, if it's short yardage, we use Rich. And anything on the outside is me and Doug.
What about the Minisink Valley defense? They're not that big, but they are quick. Did you find any tendencies in their defense that you could exploit early?
The linebackers, sometimes they would shoot. So you would key off of that when the linebackers begin to shoot, try to bring it around.
I also noticed that you guys block for each other a lot. There has to be a lot of continuity back there and a lot of teamwork in order for that ground attack to go.
Yes, we all work together, team back there. When everybody blocks for everybody back there. That's the only way you can pull it off. So as a coach, we're really a together team, and the blocking comes off. It's off of us.
Now, you guys run a great deal. In fact, about 85 or 90% of the time. What about the feeling of the defense on the other side, that they know that you're going to run? Does that get you guys a little psyched up a little more because they know that you're going to be coming at them?
Yes, that makes us come at them a lot harder. I mean, once they know we're coming, we're going to come at them a lot harder.
Okay, and now next week, Port Jervis, so you guys are 3-0, looking strong.
Yeah, we know Port Jervis is good, but we're going to be ready for them Saturday.
Okay, look, congratulations. Tremendous game. Thank you very much. Now, Dave Torchio, our defensive player of the ball game, you knew that he was going to go to the air, George Colby, this afternoon. And you knew that he was going to look to put it up at least 25 or 30 times. What was the defensive strategy in this ball game for you?
Blitz, not blitz, but pass rush off the line.
Were you looking to send all 5 guys or stunt your guys, or how were you using that defensive alignment?
2 guys at a time, and the whole line was pretty much all week we practiced for a pass rush. And I was one of the main pass rushers. They wanted me. I played linebacker for pass rushing and one of the tackles.
Now, you guys were getting to him a lot in that first half. Could you sense that he was getting frustrated?
Yeah, a little bit. But he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He holds together.
And, of course, you were also the punter. Let's talk a little bit about your punting. That's a key defensive weapon for Pine Bush. You punted fairly well this afternoon.
Yeah, not too bad. I was all right. I was surprised myself. We got a good one off the ground.
All right, now, next week you have Port Jervis, not to look ahead, but they are the team that you're going to be preparing for. They got a very potent offensive attack. You guys are going to have to come up with another big game again.
Yeah, we're going to have to start again and put a lot of practice in. A lot of practice.
Okay, listen, congratulations. Great game. Thank you very much, Dave. Now, if we can get Marsh Canosa over here, who, I tell you, don't cry for me, Avita. Marsh was telling me, you know, a very inexperienced team. They're coming along kind of this year. Listen, tremendous ball game, throttling the top passer in the OCL. You have to be very proud of your defense.
Thanks, Gary. They worked hard in practice all week long. The kids really worked hard. Like I told you before, it's a very inexperienced group, And each segment of the team, whether it be offensive backs, offensive line, defensive secondary, had their moments today, and I was pleased with that.
And it really was, we thought, a total team effort because the defensive secondary can only do so much depending on what the pass rush is, and you were not letting Colby get set for the most part, and when he was, the timing wasn't there, and it just was a total team effort.
Hey, Colby's a heck of a passer. He's got quality receivers. There's no question about that. You know, we told ourselves in a meeting last week that we just couldn't sit back and let him throw the ball on us. We had to develop our pass rush.
Now, on offense, I don't know where or how you do this, but it seems that you have the exact clones of the offensive backfield that you had last year when you had Cameron, Crisp, and Rosen. This year you have Cameron, Watkins, and Murphy. They seem to be able to do the exact three things that you did last year.
Well, the offense is a complicated offense, and it's not easy to teach kids. Again, the only kid back in the backfield is Cameron. You know, Coach did a heck of a job at quarterback today, as did Murphy and Watkins and Cameron. The offensive line blocked very well. You know, it's just we're looking for certain qualities in certain people, and you know, the key to what we do is just being consistent. You know, you don't have to be a super athlete out there, but you got to be consistent on what you do. And I still believe we have not got real super athletes out there. Hard workers, but not real super athletes.
Okay, now next week we want to let you enjoy this victory, but next week you have Port Jervis. They can run and they can throw, and you're going to be put to the test once again.
No question about it. There's nobody easy in this league, Gary. Every one of them are tough. Every single one of them. This is a very well-balanced league, and all we're trying to do is go home, sit down for a while, and relax, and come to meeting tomorrow, and look at our scouting report and see what we have to do.
And Marsh, I know you don't like to dwell on this too much, but Pine Bush 5-6 years ago, people would talk about Pine Bush in terms of football, they would snicker. Pine Bush has become a legitimate power in the Orange County League, and you have to feel good about what you and your staff have been able to do and the input from the kids that you're now 3-0 this year. You came in second in the OCL in '84. This is good, solid program now.
Well, we like to believe that the kids at Pine Bush are quality kids, and they got a bad rap a couple of years ago, and the coaching staff and the kids just really rallied and said, we've had enough of this. We want to go out and show people that we're human beings over there too, so we can go over and play football like everybody else can.
Mr. Baseball becomes Mr. Football. Listen, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Gary. I appreciate it.
And we'll see you next week against Port Jervis. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Marsh Canosa from Pine Bush. Now, entering stage left because he has to get on this side because of the way the graphics are set up is Mr. Mike Terrell. I'll tell you, we said before the ball game it was the ground attack of Pine Bush versus the air attack of Minisink Valley. The Minisink Valley air attack was throttled by the Pine Bush defense, and the Pine Bush ground attack did exactly what they wanted to against the Minisink Valley defense.
Exactly. That is it in a nutshell. And the other thing that Minisink Valley has no other option. They don't have a strong runner in the backfield. They don't have a bull like a Cameron. They don't have a Wilkerson type of runner back there who can break one open for you and take a little pressure off of your quarterback. So they are a one-dimensional type of offense, and that's a big plus. So is Pine Bush, but the difference was that Pine Bush's one dimension went forward today, and Minisink Valley's didn't. Next week's going to be very interesting. The boys at Port Jervis are a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger. I think we're going to have some great matchups in the trenches, and we have all those stars in the offensive sides, and yet this could be a game of the linemen next week, and that's something to look forward to, I think.
Because just remember, Pine Bush has won 3 ball games this year, but they have only given up 2 touchdowns in the process, so that's a strong defense.
And we saw a very strong defense last week out of Port Jervis, so it's going to be a heck of a game. I know I'll make it back in time, and I'll have my ticket for the game, and I'm sure those who enjoy high school football around the area will be looking forward to our coverage of that next week.
Okay, so the final score for Minisink Valley High School, 28-7, Pine Bush on top. They win the ball game in an interconference matchup. They are now 3-0 in the OCL in 1985. Minisink Valley falls to 1-2. Next week, we will be at Pine Bush for the final interconference battle of this 1985 season as Pine Bush entertains the Red Raiders of Port Jervis. So from Minisink Valley, for Mike Terrell, I'm Gary Sussman. You've been watching the Cable 6 game of the week.